So, welcome to your mobility class. Today we're going to go through some joint mobilization, some joint capsule stuff. We're going to work on the hips to start with and the lower body. And we've got a few exercises, some reps, some timed. We've got a little bit of activation stuff as well, because mobility and flexibility goes hand in hand with with strength and activation. And then we're going to go into some little bit more upper spine, upper body. So we're going to start off with, you're going to set a timer. All you need is a clock, phone, watch. We're going to put a minute on the clock, and you're going to go a minute on each side. So you're going to get into this kind of position. So it's almost like a pigeon stretch, but you're quite far back and this isn't too far out. So you're more like this. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to try and get your bum down to the mat. And as your bum goes that way, you're going to try and go the other way, upper body. So you're going to go into these and you're going to keep it quite dynamic. So I'll show you a side angle. You're going to get into this position, sit back a little bit. So it's like a slight kind of pigeon pose almost. And then you're going to try and get bum towards the mat, back up. And you're going to keep it pretty smooth and dynamic. So we're going to go 1 whole minute on each side. All right, so 3, 2, 1, go. And you should feel a good bit of a stretch coming onto that glute as you kind of push your bum towards the mat. But we're not necessarily trying to make this a soft tissue stretch. It's more of a joint mobilization technique. So you want to keep it pretty smooth, pretty dynamic, kind of dropping in and back out. 40 seconds down. Right, last 15 seconds. Just keep that movement. Right, in 3 seconds we'll change over and swap. So go straight into the other side. First few, just get a feel for it. Dip that hip a bit, come back up. Dip it, come back up. As your hip goes down to the ground, upper body kind of goes away. And then once you're happy with that, you can start to speed it up a little bit and keep it pretty dynamic again. Nice. You got about 20 seconds left on this side. And then after this, we're going to go into a squat. So bottom of a squat, and then you're going to go bum in the air and get a bit of a hamstring stretch. And we're going to do that for 12 reps. So you got 3 seconds and time. Perfect. So now we're going to go into the bottom of a squat position. So you're going to go down here. And then you're going to the main thing is you're going to try and keep contact either with the ground, your feet, or your shins. Having that close connection, so hands touching your furthest kind of extremities as far as you can reach, helps to create this like neural connection. So it lets the body know that you're safe to be there, and sometimes by having that connection, seems weird and very small, but you can get a little bit more mobility or range, because the body feels safe for you to have that range. So we're going to go 12 reps on my count. So get ready. You're going to go down into this position. You're going to grab anywhere you can, or toe even, and then you're going to try and go bum in the air and straighten your knees as much as you can. It's more important to keep that connection than it is to get straight knees. So just see where you go. So even if you get to a point where your knees are not quite straight, completely fine. I'll just show you one from the side. So bottom of a squat, grab your toes, keep an eye on your feet, grab your shins if you want, and then you're just going to try and straighten, and then come back down. At the bottom of a squat, you can sit for a second, and then we'll go back up. All right, so on 3, 2, 1, we'll go 1 and back down. 2, back down. When you come down, sit up nice and tall. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and last one, 12, and then come back down, and then in this bottom position, you're going to stand up. Alright, so it's a great way to get some movement from your hammies. Now we're going to go into glute bridges. So glute bridges, if you can get some good glute activation and glute strength, or strong glutes, or keep activity in that muscle, it's such a big stabilizer of that pelvis, which is also where your core connects to. So people talk about core strength being so important, and it is, but so is glute strength. They go hand in hand. So if you've got strong core but weak glutes, you'll still have problems. So here, show you side on. You're just going to go 2 feet, try and get this curl and tuck, and then shoot up nice and high, and then back down. If you have a small band, you can put the band around your knees, shin, so that you've got tension pulling the knees together so you can pull out. If not, completely fine, stick as is. So curl, shoot up, and we're going to go for 20. So 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, last 5, almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. So, should get a bit of fire onto the glutes. So from there, we're going to go into this frog stretch. So here you're just going to get pretty comfortable, really opening up the hips, and we're just going to sink and sit in it for 1 whole minute. So it'll look a bit like this. You're trying to go onto your knees, open up as far as you're happy, and your feet can match. So feet kind of, shins are kind of in line. Then you're just going to go down onto your elbows and try not to really stick your bum out or tuck too much. You're trying to keep a fairly neutral spine. So in this position, we're just going to sit for a whole minute, and you can slowly push your bum back to put that tension on a little more. All right, so we'll get into this. 3, 2, 1, and chill. So in this position, if you feel like things open up a little bit, you can try and walk your knees out a little bit further, but otherwise just hang. Keep it relatively comfortable. Say if 10 is absolutely disgustingly painful, we don't want to be there. You want to be around a 5, 5.5, maybe 6. And this just opens up those adductors, that inner thigh. So this can help with a good squat position, can help improve squat depth. All right, almost there. So you can start to try and push bum back a little bit, and you'll see that might put it on a little bit more. And you can ease out a bit if you need. Otherwise push back. You've got last 10 seconds. Almost there. After this, we're going to go into some lateral lunges, which then uses these adductors after we've opened them up. And time. So we've stretched and opened them up. Come out of that slowly. Now we want to try and get them to actually work and be active. So we want strong muscles and active, stable muscles, not just too flexy. So now you're going to go into this kind of position. You'll find your depth and how far apart you want to go. So some people, depending on limb length, want to be a bit further, some people a little bit shorter. But have a play. So we're going to go 12 reps total, 6 each side, but with a 2-second pause at the bottom. So from here, get into this position, and we're going to just go down into these lateral lunges. All right, so when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, we'll go on my count. 2, 1, back up. Then other side. 2, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1, 5, 2, 1, 6, halfway. 2, 1, 7, 2, 1, 8, 2, 1, 9, 2, 1, 10, almost there. 2, 1, 11, 2, 1, and 12. Perfect. So you are done for that lower body. Now we're going to go into some thoracic extension. So the thoracic spine is this mid portion of your spine. People look at shoulder mobility and shoulder range and shoulders coming internally rotated in this like flexed position we get from a lot of work at the computer, and often go after shoulders, so trying to stretch that chest or open up the shoulders. But if you don't address this mid spine first, if you're flexed or stuck in this hunched position, doesn't matter what you do to the shoulders, gravity will have its way and you'll just go back into this flex position. So you really want to try and start with this thoracic spine as a first go-to in terms of mobilizing or getting some good movement and opening this up. And this should have good movement in this extension and flexion, and it should rotate really nicely. So the next two are going to be a minute of extension work and then a minute, so 30 seconds each side of rotation. And what we're going to use is our makeshift weight. So you can use a roller, you can use, if you don't have a roller, you can even use a medicine ball, or you could be on the edge of a couch, or you could roll up a towel or over a pillow maybe rolled up, whatever you can find just to prop under this mid back. So what we want to do, actually I'll show you side on here. So we want to get this not on the lower back, but kind of that mid spine. And then from here we're going to go a minute on the clock, and you're just going to work up and down going into extension. So get into this position. You're going to go hands behind your head, elbows in front of your face. This brings your shoulder blades out of the way of the spine. And then we're going to take that spine into this nice open up position. Trying to point your elbows behind you. Come back up. And you might get a few clicks and cracks. So for a minute, you're going to do 2 or 3 on each kind of vertebrae, and then you're going to work your way down, and you can work your way back to the start. So we're not going to go into the lower back, but from about here, you're going to go up, back down, and see where a minute takes us. All right. So 3, 2, 1, go. And just hang out. So when you get to a point where you're like, all right, this feels quite good, support the head with your hands. Try and actively pull yourself over, but just hang for a few seconds, let things open up, come back up. And you're just encouraging a bit of movement in those vertebrae, taking them into extension and out of this flexed, hunched position. All right, once you've done a couple, you can move down a touch. A little play, just about an inch each time. Just move up or down. And again. Some good clicks there. Alright. And time. So, now that we've got some extension and opened up that thoracic a little, being raised a little bit, we're going to go into this rotation. So here, we're going to go 30 seconds and keeping it relatively dynamic. So you're going to go into this kind of like position. You want to get your knees quite nice and high, which takes the lumbar spine out of it. And then what we're going to do is reach forward and then come over as far as you can, but don't let the legs come up. So you're going to try and keep knees down and you're trying to flatten yourself. So it's almost like you're lying on your back, but your legs are over here. So we're going to go back and forth for 30 seconds and then we'll flip round and go to the other side. All right, so are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. You can just rest the head down and relax the neck. If you want, you can pause here for a few seconds, have a big breath, sink into it a bit, and then go back to keeping it quite dynamic. Alright, and then we'll switch sides. Knees up, nice and tall. We'll go 30 seconds on this side. Almost there. Last 10 seconds. I'll pause if you want. See if you notice and time. See if you notice a difference between sides. Sometimes you find left to right, you notice these differences, which are nice to know because then you can address that in training and as we go through movement. Okay, now you're going to go into these. So we've got some movement and mobility through that thoracic, hopefully. Now we want to hold on to that. And a great way to hold on to any gains you've made in mobility is through activation or muscle contraction. So now we're going to do these Supermans, and you're going to start with your hands on your bum, and then you're going to bring them overhead. So you're taking the shoulders through a nice range from internal rotation to external rotation. So it should look, I'll show you one. So you're going to go here, try and keep feet together, and you're going to try and squeeze your bum, hands on top of your bum, and you're going to try and lift your chest off a little bit and pull shoulders back. So from here, tuck your chin, up, come around, and then come back. And do what you can with your space. The couch is in the way, a touch. So we're going to do 12 of those. 3, 2, 1, and go. High as you can off the ground. Halfway, almost there. Last 4. One more. Perfect. Whew, should get the blood pumping. So that gets some blood and activation to the shoulders, helps to open up the thoracic and make it work. Now, last little thing, we're gonna go into 12, we don't need a timer anymore. We're gonna go into 12 of these McKenzie push-ups. And these things are, they come with a back, kind of like a back health plan from someone who's quite well known in terms of, it's called the McKenzie technique, and helps with a lot of like disc issues and back issues. And it's just a nice safe one that takes the spine into a bit more extension. So we sit in this like flex position a lot. So this one just helps to get things open up the other way, and it's really nice and safe. So what we want to do, I'll show you one from here. You're going to start hands down here, almost in line with your chest. And from here, you're going to try and take shoulders back, down a little. And you're just going to try and open up, looking up, trying to squeeze your bum and not let your hips kind of come off. And what you can do is you can also go into your elbows if you want. So you can go elbows. When you're ready, think about like drawing shoulders down and back, and really trying to open up that spine. Then back down, and then back up. So we'll go 12 reps on my count. Anywhere in that range you want to go. On your elbows, on your hands. Just, if you go up on your hands, try not to have shoulders like pushing up to your ears. You want to be down, back, squeezing your bum, and getting a good bit of movement. Sometimes I find I can just get more out of my spine going on my elbows. So height isn't the main thing. See how you feel. Play with both if you want. All right, so 12 reps. 3, 2, 1, and go. 1, come up. Hold for a second. Try and really feel your back opening up. And back down. And 2. And you can really look to the ceiling as well. 3. And 4. Use that ground to really kind of push you away, but keep it a nice, comfortable range. Nice, halfway. And again, 8. Last 4. You're gonna try to go a little higher you can, just don't force anything. 9. 10. Last 2. Last one. Perfect. So there you have a quick little run through, starting with your hips, going to your upper, that will do wonders for getting some blood flow, some light recovery work, or prepping you and priming you if you're about to do a session straight after this. Either way, it's a great quick little thing to run through. This could even be done in lunchtime, in between work, if you've been sitting for a while, end of the day before bed, anytime. Enjoy. Hope you had fun. Cheers.